What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Henry, and we're back with another market update. Okay. So first of all, we're gonna go over the candlesticks. What is forming right now? It's 2:41 right now. Market closes at 4 o'clock, so we do have an hour and 20 minutes. We still have power hour. But I want to get this video out to you guys, so hey, maybe you guys have time to make adjustments to practice proper trade management if you want. But yeah, first let's just go over the candlesticks that are currently forming right now. We just got a doji. Okay, I said within the next two trading sessions I am expecting a topping tail. Looks like, guys, we're getting two topping tails. Doji is straight indecision. That is all it represents, and this kind of also made a doji. But I said this looked like it would be an inverse hanging man candle, even though that literally doesn't exist on the patternsite.com. But I said if it does act like the inverse of a hangman, then hangman's tested performance is bullish continuation, so it would be bearish continuation. And looks like we do have another bearish looking candle. Okay, and not that this candle, by the way, should be green. You did open here, and you were currently right here. So that is wrong, and I mean it's another bearish looking candle because hey, look at this. Again, another topping tail. These are signs you want to be looking for. What times did you see these like double topping tails and then you started popping off at resistance? Might I add, QQQ is literally at resistance. So this is a line that I had up on my chart up until a few videos back. And I took it off because I didn't know if it would be relevant. I just didn't want to take away clutter, but holy crap, I added this back on this morning, and yeah, this is a very relevant line right here. This 318.26. That's the exact pivot point of the first bottom we formed down here before it came down, and we made a slightly lower low, but still, all in all, that line held. All right, and that seems to be the exact point that we're finding resistance at the same time that we have daily bearish divergence on the CCI and stochastics. And we go over to VIX, and we have quadruple bullish divergence on the VIX. And we have filled one of our gaps. We didn't fill the second gap, all right? But I personally don't think that that gap will be filled before going. But I will say, all right, I am waiting. All right, today I ended up. So let's just talk a little about the current trade that's going on before we jump right into the daily analysis. So the current trade we got going on is the 25s for August 31st on the VIX. So we're playing the calls. All right. I'm pretty sure, guys, by the way, so I just looked, and I saw that there was volume today, and dude, maybe that's you guys buying with me. All right, like straight up, maybe maybe the volume on the 25s for VIX are like straight up this channel, and that would be very cool. I added up all the dollar amounts that's in like the current open interest, and we currently have about $45,000 riding on the VIX, so on that specific contract. So if a large part of that, and honestly it probably is a large part of that, is probably people on the channel, all right? I mean, part of that is me. I'll tell you guys right now, part of that is me. Part of the volume you saw today, that was me. But yeah, okay, if you guys went to the comment section of, which I know obviously nobody did, but if you did, before market open, if someone happened to have stumbled upon the comment section on the last vid, I did alert before market open, it was around 9 o'clock, that I would be selling half of my VIX position at open because we do have an absolute massive gap along with this other gap. So that's two price magnets just sucking it down. We had this absolute massive gap. You opened up here, and this should be a red candle, by the way, because you're currently here and you opened here, but you opened up here. I don't know why TradingView is like all out of whack, but you opened up here and you literally came down and filled this gap. Now I bought my contracts back on that gap. I sold for $295, and then I was able to buy some of these contracts back at $260. All right, which I think is that's pretty valid considering we are I believe we are above that right now on those contracts. But either way, we are early to the party. I think we did with one of our entries. I think we literally did get the exact bottom. But keep in mind, we still can come back down here and fill this gap. And once this gap gets filled, guys, holy shit, I do expect it to get really fucking crazy. That is an untethered VIX with a bullish falling wedge pattern that, hey, if we get a close here, I mean, hey, we officially we broke out of that. So if we get one day where we come down, close that gap, and then come back out of the wedge by the end of the day, That's something I would expect to be happening, or I expect us to take off and then come down and fill that gap later. Okay. And if you guys have been following along with the channel, you guys do know the big picture point of view suggests that we are going to be going on an absolute massive bull run. All right. And it doesn't have to be this where you just go past all-time highs and you keep going. No, I'm talking like you're probably going to come up to here or in this range. You're going to come up here. Okay. I think things are turning around. I literally called the top of inflation a while back. All right. And like or not inflation, but oil, which I said most likely it's going to be represented in inflation. And if US oil is coming down, it is indicative of inflation coming down. All right. And it might take some time. And these lines are literally the start of the month. And then maybe that's not the start of the month. Oh, we come over the daily. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I mean, we went down like 8% in here. So we're going to have to see what happens on CPI. But what I will say is I'm pretty sure this day right here was CPI and you just kept tanking. All right. So it was bad after we had a setup very similar to the one we got rocking with right now. Over here, CPI was literally like one of the bearish catalysts that made it tank another $10. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't think anything tanked us here. I think we just started tanking out of this stale consolidation pattern, whatever you want to call it. All right. And I say stale because you literally have rallied up while you have declining volume. That is indicative that this is a counter trend rally. All right. And then you are going to go back to trend. And when you go back to the trend, that's where the volume normally shows. Like we come in here, look at this. All right. You have that day. We'll mark it right here. All right. Mark it there. Mark it here. I guarantee if we look at volume, it's high ass volume. All right. You start here. Look at this. Look at these high volume candles compared to when you were slightly rising right here. All right. Slightly rising. Yeah, you were rising there. All right. Volume was rising. But look, your highest volume was on this down move. You got right here. We'll mark it out again. Right here. Right here. I guarantee you had inclining volume. Boom. Look at that. You literally had all of those days were inclining volume. Boom. You started going back up and look what happened. The volume started coming back down. You started coming up. Volume started coming down. Okay. You're coming there. Whole time the volume is not spiking. Okay. This is 100% indicative of this is a counter trend rally. All right. Like the bear trend most likely will still be prevailing unless we get a shit ton of volume that comes in with a higher high. Okay. And that is what I am watching for. If you guys have been following along with the channel, you guys know that's what we've been watching for. Yeah, we're waiting for another leg down. We think it is about to start. And then we are, we're waiting to buy the bottom. All right. Then we are going to legitimately be looking for a bottom. We think, the next leg down, even if it's not the bottom, it's still probably going to produce an absolute massive rip. And here on the channel, yeah, we have the big picture, all right, but we're not holding throughout the whole duration of the big picture. No, there's a shit ton of trades that have been going on. Like we knew we were going up here. We didn't just hold calls the whole way through. No, we played puts and calls several times. All right. But yeah, as of the current VIX trade, I am currently established. I'm reestablished in my position. All right. I've had my full position back. And I am ready to add more. All right. I am ready to add more, but only if we come down to this gap fill, or I'll add on this, the touch of this trend line again, because I did say we could touch the trend line, bounce up like right here. We almost touched the trend line. All right. Depending on where you drew it, you would have touched the trend line, but you almost touched the trend line. You bounced up 15%, and then you came right back down to the trend line. Let's see how far we bounced up. We bounced up literally the exact same. All right, 15 to 16%, and maybe we come back down. Now, here's the thing about this compared to the previous SPY trade that we, I'm not going to say it went well. The only way you didn't get reamed is if you had very proper trade management. Either way, this VIX trade is going to be completely making up for that one. That is what is so dope about this safe trade. But yeah, okay, the difference between this is if VIX comes all the way back down to our entry, there's not a shit, like there's theta, but there is not an absolute crap ton of theta that is just eating us. All right. So the contracts will most likely be very similar to our entry that we got right here. All right. They will probably be around 200 per contract on this trend line. And once we get this gap fill, I would say they're probably going to be 210 to 220. if we do end up getting this gap fill. And that's where I will be adding to my position. That is the only way I will be adding to my position. But I will say, all right, you're looking bullish on the VIX in the daily chart, whereas SPY, you're not looking bullish. All right, so now after 10 minutes, we're going to get into the actual analysis. All right, now that we have covered everything, we've covered the big picture point of view. We have, you know, all right, now let's actually go over all the technicals. What is everything suggesting? Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you are getting these two topping tails now, very identical looking candles, which probably will represent the same thing. Okay, a topping tail. Okay, this is bullish exhaustion, and bears are starting to step in. Hopefully this is the exact top of where, oh, look at that. This is what I was saying, how the SPY, all the candles, SPY, QQ, and VIX, they were all just, they're acting funny. But yeah, I mean, when was the last time you saw two topping tails like that, and then you went up and made another bullish move? All right, you saw your topping tail here, you went down. You had a very big move down. You had your topping tails here, you went down. All right, you had your topping tails here, you went down. All right, you had your topping tails here, you had this and consolidation, then you finally went down. My point is, when you start seeing these, you normally start moving down. You don't typically see one right into resistance, literally right into resistance. And if we put on, I called it out yesterday, we have the 100 MA, all of them, all of the indices are right on the 100 MA. Like, I'm serious, guys. This is the purpose of the big picture point of view, because, like, hey, dude, there are so many factors suggesting that you are not going to clear this. All right, there's, like, hey, your oscillators up here in the oversold region, which with bearish divergence, while VIX is looking ready to absolutely pop off with bullish divergence, breaking out of the wedge, filling one of its gaps, and it could just pop off. And then, like, it could be quick, though. This is what I'm expecting. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen like this. We just got to make sure we're in it. But yeah, I mean, what are the odds that you do all this while you're popping right up into the 100 MA and this right here, SPY and QQQ? It's both the same exact picture. You're getting rejected at the bottom, okay? Where you pivoted back here, you are literally getting rejected. And this was on February 24th. That is where that line is from. And as you see, like, this was an important line. Like, you couldn't clear it here. And if you probably could clear here, hey, who says you, maybe you wouldn't have gotten a lower low? Maybe you would have started to... actually, no, probably not. Probably not. It would have been the same exact thing. But yeah, guys, I'm just saying it's the perfect storm for us to be moving down. Like, it really does not make sense. Like, people can call this, like, bullish, like that we're over this all you want. Higher high on the QQQ, on the NASDAQ, all right? But at the same time, like, dude, the candles are bearish, all right? Oscillators are bearish. VIX is bullish as fuck. Like, there's no denying it. Bitcoin's bearish, all right? Like, everything is going exactly according to plan, and the plan has been like, hey, guys, we're waiting on this leg down, all right? I should actually stop saying leg down. We're waiting on this move down. It's just a move down. We're not, it doesn't even have to be a leg. That's the thing about this channel, guys. We don't have to be 100% right, all right? We just have to make sure the movement is right, okay? Like, if the big picture, like, things change constantly. That's why we consistently evaluate every single factor we go over each and every video. I'm going to create a checklist of what I go over each video, and I'm just literally going to start checking it off every time, so we continuously see every single important factor that is on the table. All right, but I'm just saying, guys, nothing has changed. All right, the factors are still very bearish. Okay, everything is just bearish. There's nothing good about this. And you also, on top of that, you have on the 9th, I believe, I think it's the 9th, it's either the 8th or the 9th, you have CPI coming out. And I watched Kevin's video earlier, and he's saying that the CPI, they're trying to do like I think it was 0.24%, or it was 0.4%. That is ridiculous. It's been like, it has not been under a whole number ever, not ever. But since this whole inflation thing has started, and since the market has been tanking off of bad inflation news, like, straight up, I don't think that's going to happen. But what I want to say is, maybe the charts are predicting the news yet again. They gave it a ridiculously low estimate just so they can have it come in higher, and then the market tanks. Okay, I'm just saying the charts, like the vast majority of the time, okay, I really haven't actually, I can't point to a specific time over the past year where the charts didn't predict the news. Like, I've been trading technicals for months, and it's like, yeah, we have economic events in here, and we have likelihoods of what's going to happen at these events, but same time, like, dude, it's technical suggesting like what the outcome of the event is going to be. That's what I've been doing for months. And dude, it's been working. It's like really been working. It's kind of odd, but like straight up, it's been working. So yeah, I'm saying the CPI is probably gonna be bad. Or here's also something that can happen. Like I said, it might be kind of probable if you just come down into this zone and you start bouncing, okay? And that would align with our bull case scenario on a next bullish monthly candle, all right? And that could be the case, all right? But say you say you literally come all the way down here. Let's come back and let's delete that. Let's say you literally just come down. Maybe you even do that and then you trade flat. Obviously, it's not going to just fall. That's like a lot. That is like $20 in a day. Obviously that's not going to happen, but like, who says you don't have like 2 bad days where you fall $10 in each day and you find yourself just right around this point and then you bounce off this trend line going into CPI? Like, maybe it's really good and you are popping off going into CPI. That's another outcome. But like I said, like, what was it, like 2 or 3 minutes ago? I said, like, there's no reason for us to have the exact picture right, because we continuously change it. So as long as like our factors are pointing that I said here on this day right here, right here, I said that I'm expecting a topping tail within the next 2 trading sessions. That's what the indicators are suggesting. And I also said that's what the I think it was the whichever, we had the bearish belt hold. I think it was this weekly candle right here was the bearish belt hold, and I was saying that was a bearish candle. Either way, I was like, factors were just pointing towards us having a topping tail here. But hey, who says like our view on like a week from now? Who says that was gonna be correct? We just need this move correct, and maybe in the next few days we pop off on our position. We can cut that. Okay, obviously taking profits along the way and only entering when it really makes perfect sense to enter. That's kind of the key. Like, it's taking profits and then only entering when it makes perfect sense, when the perfect storm is around. Like, that's kind of what we have been doing on here. Like, that we've been trading the same exact thing and just waiting for our just waiting for all of our conditions to be met. Like, so Sebastian tweeted something out yesterday that said traders, if they want to, like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was pretty much like, traders, if you want to survive in this game, you need to get to the point where you create a checklist for each trade, and you don't take the trade unless each thing is checked. Each item on that checklist is checked. Okay. And that's kind of what we've been doing with this whole big picture view without actually checking off each factor. We are just like, hey, is there any bullish factors here? Are they all bearish factors? Yes. Okay. Then we're going down. All right. But having that checklist, I am going to attempt to create that checklist to see like, what can I look for? And yeah, because as we've been going, like, there's not, like, it's 100 MA popping up. That's not something that we can always have as a factor. The 200 MA popping up, that's not something we can always have a factor. So I guess, I don't know. I'm gonna do some thinking and see what we can actually put on that checklist. But in the meantime, we're just gonna continue doing things exactly how we've been doing, because we've been killing it. All right. So, I am on the drawing tool. All right. So I'm gonna finish up real quick with TBLT. Okay. And we didn't cover Bitcoin. Bitcoin's oscillators, they're bearish. You're going down. Okay. Your weekly also is not as bullish as QQQs. Okay. Or buy. They came all the way up here. And if we come over here, okay, we can go on QQQ. Okay. So QQQ. And you're going to see on the weekly time frame, look at where your CCI is. You literally came all the way into the overbought region. Okay. And like I said the other day, this MACD, I dropped the MACD for a reason. This thing is not the best, most reliable indicator. We are predicting that we're projecting that we're about to be hitting a top, or we already have hit a top, or we're about to hit a top. And yeah, I mean, the MACD on the weekly is giving you a buy signal. I mean, yeah, I guess you could have bought in at the start of this week, and you would have bought in 292, and yeah, that would have been valid. But looking at this MACD, you would be like, oh no, we got a massive rip coming. No, you don't. Okay, you got a dump coming and then a massive rip coming. But yeah, I just want to point out that the CCI is over here in the oversold region. If we change this, we can change this to the stochastic. Fisto, that is stochastic. On Webull, we are going to take off the MACD. Can we do that? X that out. We're going to make you smaller. We're going to make you smaller. We're going to make you smaller, wherever you are. There we go. But yeah, like Weeble is showing, like even your weekly oscillators are just now looking like they are going to start turning bearish. All right, and that's on Weeble, whereas TradingView shows a different story. You are not even close to getting into the overbought region on your CCI, but you do have the stochastic turning down, and you have your RSI turning down at 50. Now, I have found that TradingView's indicators have served me right. Okay, even though they're slightly different than Weeble, I do prefer TradingView. All right, so last thing we're going to touch on is TBLT. That is the current squeezer play that we have our eyes on. All right, and it's still a pretty similar scenario. I mean, the short inch is going up and down, but it's not exiting that 100% mark. All right, I'm just letting you know. And the market cap on this thing, guys, like you see all these other things moving. The market cap is still only 16 mil. All right, I said way down there, like guys, we found a 5 mil market cap. This thing is going to move quick. All right, it's quick. When it's going to take off, it's going to take off. That's exactly what it did. But what I said we're going to be watching on this one is the 4 hour. The 4 hour is showing bearish divergence. Now, what I want to point out right here is we had this bearish divergence right here. That was actually very nice of them to show that for us. Have that bearish divergence in there. Look at this. Clear as day. And you have it all the way there. All right, that's also bearish divergence. But you have bearish divergence right here while you completely just kept going up here. And then you had this massive sell-off right on the peak, literally right on the peak of that CCI right there, where it confirmed the next divergence. That was your peak. That was literally your peak on TBLT. All right, so like again, divergences in general, guys, we have to, like, this is a very important factor in our big picture. All right. But yeah, TBLT, I said we do have another bearish divergence. I didn't point out that one at all. That is one I noticed today. But what I did point out is we do have this going on. Okay, you have that, whereas you are slightly going up there, but you were clear as day making that lower low here. And I called that out somewhere around over here when we were popping off. I said, guys, there's no point in chasing this thing. We already got a very good entry down here. We made a lot of gains on it. And I mean, there probably will be another opportunity where we can start buying once these oscillators come back into this oversold region on the 4 hour chart. That's what happened last time. That's what we're going to be waiting for this time. Maybe we make a higher high. Maybe it's somewhere around $5, but I do think it's going to be somewhere in just in this zone down here. I think this is exactly where you're going to most likely, probably cooling off and then popping back off. And I don't think this play is done, guys. I think this thing, we can continue to rinse and repeat this thing. And yeah. So yeah, that is the video. Covered everything. We're still expecting downside. Like, literally nothing has changed. We come over the VIX. Like, hey, it literally filled the gap that it filled today just so it can continue to move freely. But then again, you also do have this gap. But if you do go back to the last video's comment section, look at the pinned comment. This morning, my prediction was that we're probably going to come down and fill this gap, the gap that was created today, which is this first green line at 23.27. And I said this one's probably going to be left, and then it's going to be filled when we come back down. And I still think that is going to be the case, but if it does fill this, I am confident it's not, like, the market's not going much higher. All right, if it does fill this is a buy. Okay, this is you guys don't have to do this. I am. Okay, and I actually, no, I went over that in the last video. So something I went over, and so I recorded this video like earlier, and then I had an appointment, so I had to go, and I didn't have time to do it, and I just decided to re-record it. But on the VIX, okay, something I called out was, if you're trading with a lot more money, all right, and we already have those, the August 31s, guys, they're going to return pretty good gains, all right? If we hit our target, they are going to go up like around 200%, most likely, all right? Actually more than 200%. It's probably going to be 250 to 300% if that is the case. All right, but what I will say is you could join me on these Septembers. Okay, so this is something I added a few today. And guys, I'm serious. This is really, it is funny. It is funny. Like, come over here. Look at all of our open interest and volume, guys. Look at this. All right, we're popping off. We have the most open interest or most volume out of all of these besides like 30, 32.5, 35. And I get it. 25 is a round number. That's probably why I picked the number as well. But hey, guys, if this is us, if this is our channel, like 220 times that by the current contract price, I did it earlier when we were at 250 per contract, and it came out to like 45K. So we got 45K in the channel growing together if we represent this open interest, which would be pretty cool. But what I do want to point out is you do have volume coming into these higher strikes, okay? And that is something to notice, okay? That is literally our target, $30. But yeah, something I said in the video that I'm not posting, and I'm re-recording it right now, is that on that gap fill, I'm not going to be buying. I mean, I may buy August 31st calls. I may buy a few of them, but I'm most likely going to be adding mainly these 25s for September. And that's just because, like, hey guys, like, we know we're going to win with this trade. It's like, I don't want to mess with data at all. I want to make it as safe as possible. I'm serious. Like, I don't really, I don't care for the risk. I don't. I know I'm about to nail this move, just like we've nailed many other moves before. And this time, yeah, guys, we're taking a step back and we're gonna play the safer option. Okay, that is what I'm doing. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing if we do end up coming down and filling that gap, as you see right here at 22.16. And that is, put it on your chart. All you have to do on TradingView is you double click that, come over to coordinates, and just type in my coordinates. It is the exact gap line, just like this one up here is also the exact gap line. I make them all exact. Very important. But yeah, guys, that is the video, and I will catch you guys next video, which will be tomorrow. I'll be back with an update towards market close, and yeah, peace.